Hey everyone, welcome to GADGETMIX. This is a watch video in which I'm going to talk about one really irking fact about the solar watches in particular, especially the seiko solar watches. So this is a seiko chronograph. Um, it's a chronograph solar watch, a very good looking dual color watch. And here I have my Omega Seamaster 300M. This is a coaxial automatic watch, and I strongly think people should not opt for a solar watch. The main reason is the maintenance factor. So solar watches, as the name suggests, require sun energy to run properly. And over the past 7 months of my ownership of the seiko solar watch chronograph, seiko chronograph solar, is that it requires way too much sun energy for its chronograph to function properly. Now, and it requires direct sunlight for quite a lot of time every day for its chronograph to work properly. And when it doesn't get enough sun energy, you get this jerky seconds movement. You see that? It's ticking twice every second instead of ticking once. It looks very weird. Another thing that stops working immediately when it doesn't get enough sun, and even though I am wearing it for like 15-20 minutes in sun every day, but not putting it in direct sunlight, but yeah, I'm out in the sun for like 15-20 minutes every day. The major problem that happens in almost all of the seiko solar watches is that the chronograph's function stops working. And you can see that when I press this, nothing happens. And when I called seiko, they just told me you need to keep this watch in direct sunlight for a few days, every day, for like half an hour or 1 hour every day in direct sunlight. Now I don't know about you guys, but I am not comfortable with taking my watch off from my wrist and keeping it in direct sunlight just for the chronograph function to work. I think this is one of the major shortcomings of a chronograph watch. On the other hand, the normal automatic watch like this one, all it needs is manual winding, or if it is self-winding like this one, it is self-winding and it supports manual winding as well. So if you want to wind it, you just have to take the crown out a little bit and you can manual wind it. And this is the case with the Omega Speedmaster Moon watch, which has a chronograph. This doesn't have chronograph, but you get the idea. You do not have to specifically go out in the sun or do weird stuff like keeping watch near the window, which they told me I don't want to do that. But they also told me to wear this watch at least once every week, otherwise the battery might just die. So that's another thing. And the costs of replacing the battery are not cheap. So whenever you buy a solar watch, I've been told that whenever you buy a solar watch, you have to prepare your mind for massive bills. Now, I got it repaired from my local watch guy, and he didn't charge me much, but he did warn me that if you do not wear it enough in the sun, this watch won't survive. Yeah, and that's not the case with any of my automatic watches, including the ones from Rado and Seiko as well. Seiko makes really nice cheap automatic watches, the series 5 for example, which costs less than half of what this watch costs. It is so much easier to maintain. That said, the Seiko Series 5 automatic watches do not have manual winding, so you have to do this jerk motion, how to wear it on your hand, and then you have to move your hand a little bit. It doesn't support manual winding like this Omega. So, but it's a different category of watch. So whenever you buy a solar watch, you need to remind yourself that you need to put this watch in direct sunlight, not in not in like car sunlight, like in direct sunlight for at least, I would say, 1 hour every other day for its functions to work properly. Otherwise you will see this jerky motion, which signifies that it's running low on battery, and only the core function like the watch telling is working fine. So that's the thing. This won't work. The chronograph function will just cease to work. Otherwise it's a very fancy looking watch, looks great on my wrist. I don't use chronograph function much, but it just doesn't feel good a part of your watch not functioning properly, especially when you have paid like $500-600 for it. It's not a cheap watch, and even if it was a cheap watch, I would not want a defective watch in my collection. So that's all about it. Keep these things in mind if you are in the market for solar watches. I see a lot of solar watches popping up on Chrono24 and as well as on Amazon. The Citizen and Seiko are the leaders in this market, and the people should know the shortcomings. First, the repair cost is too high. Second, you ought to keep them in the direct sunlight for 1 or 2 hours every week. You ought to wear them every week, otherwise they won't get charged properly. And yeah, they need some sort of exposure every week or so. They are not watches like Omega or any automatic watch which you can just keep in your drawer. For example, if I want to keep it in my drawer, all I do is I take the crown out, and then the watch stops working. And whenever I want it to start working again, I just put the crown in. Simple as that. Very easy to store. Here, it's tough. There's no easy way to store it, and you can easily damage the solar cell if you don't use it for prolonged durations. So that's all about it. I wanted to keep you guys abreast with my solar watch journey. Hope you like this video. Stay subscribed for more technology and watch updates like these. Bye bye.